Hey guys, welcome to the daily news analysis, guys. So today we are going to discuss the 10th, that is yesterday's and today's few current affairs. So let's discuss on a holistic tone. In the first news is India and France has joined the hands in Indian Ocean security, right? To enhance the security of Indo-Pacific region, we have joined hands with India, right? And this also for the occasion is that is India and France are marking our 20th anniversary of strategic partnership, right? So that's why we have joined hands with Indo-Pacific, which is a kind of indirect notification to China that China, whatever the China is doing, they cannot do, right? Because China is dominating very much, right, in Indo-Pacific region, right? So we want to make sure that whatever is being the challenges that is being faced by the world from China, that should not be faced in coming future, right? So that's why we have joined hand with France, in which it is said that it is a kind of new phase of cooperation in which in maritime domain we are going to coordinate, right? So fresh logistic arrangement will be done between both the countries, so that in future, if we at all want, then mutually agreed operation can also be carried out between the naval forces of both the countries. A joint strategic vision of India-France cooperation in Indian Ocean region has been declared, basically. So in this, basically, it has been said that the common concerns whatever is being faced by India and France, the first common concern is the freedom of navigation, what has China has done in South China Sea. Because if you have to pass your ship through South China Sea, now it is the rule that you have to take permission from China, right? So this is one of the common concern of not only India but France also, right? Because due to this, we have having problems in carried out in trade with the countries like Philippines, then countries like Vietnam and Japan and Korea, right? So that's why this kind of both the challenges that is faced, and also the other challenges like deployment of weapons of mass destruction in Indian Ocean region. Because we both the countries believe that that India and Pacific Oceans are the oceans which are one of the most peaceful oceans, right? So these kind of things must not happen in coming future, right? Also, guys, vast scope is there for counter-terrorism activities within our forces of both the countries, that is India and France, as well as building of maritime domain awareness will also be done between the both the countries, right? The Pacific and in the Indian Ocean cannot become zones for hegemonic power, and we are therefore building this strategic partnership, and that is what been said between by both the countries. The logistics support agreement is likely to extend both the India's and French ability to respond to the common challenges, as I've already discussed. And also it has been said that there will be extension of bilateral contact in the supply of more of the conventional submarines. Though we are deploying our submarines, that is Scorpion class submarine, but still there France have also said that we will also provide you the conventional submarine with higher and good features, right? So to enhance our maritime power. Next is deep diplomatic. This coordination between India and France is kind of a deep diplomatic message to whole world, whether it be US, whether it be Russia, or whether it be China, that India is not limited itself to the quadrilateral arrangement which has been done between US, Australia, then Japan, right? So we are not confined to this quadrilateral arrangements. Rather, we are as we are shaking our hands with different other world power like here France. And in few months it was news that we are coordinating with Israel regarding this also, right? So this is kind of a thing that is being done by India, right? And though we have other corporations in the sector like space corporation and nuclear reactor sector also, we are having good relations with France. And the one thing that is being India can gain very much, that is need for early conclusion of the ongoing discussions, whatever have been the discussions that was been going on between the government of India and France regarding different kind of different kind of technologies. And here that has been mentioned about the technologies of combat engine of indigenous Tejas fighter, right? So this basically talks were going on between India and France that we want that engines from you, right? So those talks will be fast tracked after this. So let's see what happens in future. Next news is a bit old news actually, and basically the Women Entrepreneurship Forum is the news, and Niti Aayog has launched this forum on the occasion of International Women Day, and basically this forum is aimed to build the ecosystem for women so that they can carry out their business at a huge extent, right? Because it will be a kind of platform in which they could get to enhance their entrepreneurship skill, they could scale up the innovative initiative that they at all want to, or they could make some sort of long term strategies which they actually want to grow up their business, right? So this will be done through different stakeholder involvement, that is industry collaboration, partnership, mentors, and peer-to-peer contact. According to the Mastercard Index, just remember this index, Mastercard Index of Women Entrepreneurs, which shows the data of women business ownership percentage in different countries. So in that percentage, our rank is very much poor. That is, we are standing 49 out of 54 countries, which is a huge poor, right? So not only this, India is having lower opportunities for women in different other leadership roles also, right? Because the workforce engagement, whether it be workforce engagement, whether it be the participation in different other kind of leadership roles. So every sector, if you see that the participation of women is damn too low, right? So that's why government must take concern of it and do something which will lead to the empowerment of women at a more fast track, right? Next news is about transforming of 115 backward district. Actually guys, the meeting of to review the progress of transformation of 115 aspirational district has recently held, that has been chaired by cabinet secretary. Actually we have discussed this news in November 27 also. In that we have discussed that government is planning to identify 15 district, that is 115 district, in which those districts will be done there will be rapid transformation that will be gone through, right? And those kind of district include 35 affected left wing extremism affected areas also, right? So major parameters will be mainly focused on like health and nutrition, education, right, infrastructure, lack of toilet, electrified homes, village not connected with all weather road connectivity, like lack of drinking water, right? Next is deprivation, whether it be extent of it should be extent of landless household deprivation, right? So these are the features which will be mainly focused upon, and in this sector rapid transformation would be brought by the government. And this government is has planned to do these all things by 2022, because in 2022 we are celebrating 75th year of Indian independence, right? So that's why on the occasion it is said that this will happen. Now you will ask that from where this fund will come. See, fund will come from collaboration of different schemes, because say for example for any area, right, whether these kind of amenities are not lacking, right, basically lacking, then those for the development of those area, it is quite sure that central government as well as the state government of that area has taken some sort of initiative, right? But that has not been channelized properly, right? So through this transformation of 15 backward district initiative, it is being said that those will be channelized from institutionally, right? So that these 115 district could be enhanced, their rapid transformation could be brought about in these kind of sectors where the facilities are actually lacking. Next news is about relief measures to telecom sector. See guys, we know that after coming of Jio, telecom sector has been a huge hit, right? So that's why the Union Cabinet has decided to come up with two key measures in telecom sectors, and these key measures are set to facilitate the investment as well as improve the ease of doing business in the present telecom sector. So what are those key things? First is see, earlier the thing was like 10 installments were permitted. If government is selling the spectrum to any telecom company, then the telecom company has to give money to the government in 10 installments. But now that installment has been increased to 16, right? So the pressure on the telecom companies will reduce to a bit extent. That's what written here, that though government cannot provide 100% relief, but at least some relief they can provide, right? So that is what the relief they're providing. Next is overcap spectrum scheme has also been revised from 25 to 35%. See, these are the technical terms, so you just don't have to mingle that much to it, but just remember that that yes, government has liberalized the spectrum cap, as well as government has liberalized the installment uptaking by those companies, right? So these are the reform that has been brought up by the government in telecom sector. Next news is about Rydberg polaron. So what is it? It is a giant atom. See, guys, we up till now we know that the characteristics of atom, that there's a nucleus, right, and around which electron moves, right. Now, what is this Rydberg polaron? See, around a nucleus, the electron moves at a certain limit, right? In this Rydberg polaron, what happens is that electrons are excited to move to other huge orbit. Since these one minute, these electrons is moving, coming here. This is coming here. This is coming here, and this is coming here. So the size has become increased, right? So that is what written here, that it has become giant atom. So Rydberg polaron is kind of giant atom, right, where the electrons are held together by a weak bond, very weak bond, and it is basically created at a very low temperature, right? Now the question arises that what is the benefit of this foundation of this Rydberg polaron by the international team of physicists, right? See, the thing is that it is said that in the field of cosmology it can bring a huge change. It can bring about interesting implications in the sector of cosmology, because as of now our universe is believed to be filled with mysterious dark material which cannot be observed by us, but it is being said that they exert gravitational force on other matters, right? It is being said, right? So if this Rydberg polaron is further, research and work activities are being carried out in this Rydberg polaron, then it might be possible, it is said in this article, that this cosmology phenomena can further be decoded in coming future. Next news is about InSitu management of crop residue, guys. See, what is InSitu ex situ? See, InSitu is the procedure in which there itself the thing is done. I mean, in particular area, say for example wildlife sanctuary, right? So that is the in situ conservation of wildlife. But a zoo is not a in situ conservation, because in zoo different kind of animals are found, and those animals are being brought up by different other areas, right? So where wildlife sanctuary is in situ conservation, there the zoo is ex situ conservation, right? So now you got about in situ and ex situ. Now the question here, the news here is, there is occurring in situ management of crop residues. Actually, the government has approved rupees itna crore scheme, in which that the name of the scheme is promotion of agriculture mechanization in situ management of crop residue. So first deal about this scheme, what this scheme is. See, the problem with different states like Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh and Delhi was that nearby region, the stubble burning was carried out, due to which in winter days there used to occur smog. Now what is a smog? Smog is a combination of smoke plus fog, due to which there occurs many huge nasal problems among the children, right? So to do away with all those things, basically government has come with a scheme which is called promotion of agriculture mechanization in situ management of crop residue. Now these crop residues were earlier not being managed by the farmers, because farmers used to burn them off. But now the government will provide a subsidized scheme, under which government will give subsidy to the farmers, right? Government will give subsidy to the self-help group, and allow them and ask them to purchase a machine. Through that machine, the in situ management could be done regarding the crop residue, right? If those machines are deployed, it is being said. So there will not be case of any smog in coming future, right? So that is what for this government is basically talking with the manufacturers regarding the manufacturing of equipment, so that if they will talk with manufacturers, then they can come up with reasonable price. And if say for example 100 rupees was the earlier price, now since government has talked with the manufacturer, then since government is taking that we are giving your bulk order, so they might make it for 80 rupees, right? I'm just giving you an example here, right? So if the 80 rupees is given, then the subsidy burden of the government will also get reduced, right? So that is why this initiative is being taken out by the government, and that is what the news is given here, that the individual farmers would whosoever want to buy these kind of machineries or equipments will be given financial assistance of 50% for the cost of machinery for the crop residue management by the government, right? And yeah, that is what written, that state level Department of Agriculture is concerned, state government will be the nodal implementation agency for this initiative, right? Now now let's come to the news again. The news is about this, right? And we have read about all this scheme. It is said that the move is aimed to provide a cost-effective and eco-friendly solution to the farmers to deal with the problem of stubble burning. Yes, it will, and the move is expected to a long way in tackling the air pollution issue, and of this stubble burning is identified as one of the key problem occurring in these kind of area, that is Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, and Delhi, right? Next news is about I-Metro. Now, before I-Metro, let me give you an example. See, Delhi Metro is being run by different organization, that is Delhi Metro Corporation. Chennai Metro is done by different. Kolkata is done by different, right? So now this I-Metro is a combination of all these, right? So it is basically kind of this is society, right, which has been registered under Society Registration Act 1860. So it is an association, right? It's basically an association of all the Indian metro rail companies, right? All the Indian metro rail companies will be associated through I-Metro. Now, it is proposed to be a platform to provide forum of exchange of ideas. Through this exchange of ideas will be done, pooling of knowledge will be done, sharing of experience and best practices will be done, so that the problems which would have been faced by coming, say for example, Bangalore Metro in construction, right? So that these Bangalore Metro in future could not face a problem what has earlier been faced by the Delhi Metro. So since they are connected through this I-Metro, so they can take the best practices, right, and they can work on it. Also guys, since it is a kind of association, then it will be easier for everyone to carry out the studies and research activities in different sector, right? Because earlier it would not be possible for a single entity to carry out any sort of research activities, but now since every organizations are connected, so every organization will give a fund so that this research activities could be also be carried out at a cheaper cost. Next is about Suvidha. As I've discussed yesterday that I'm going to discuss a new thing. So basically it is a scheme that has been launched by the government, under which 100% oxo biodegradable sanitary napkins has been made, and that is will make me available to the unprivileged women of India at a cost of just 2.5 rupees, right? So see, 4 pads for 10 rupees, right? So it is indeed a very good step by the government. That is what it is there, that it is 100% oxo biodegradable and masik dharm ke swachhata sunishchit kare, means regarding periods, is regarding the periods of women. So yeah, it is indeed a very good step by the government, and it has a huge probability of coming in your paper also, so just remember it. And the step has been taken by the Department of Pharmaceutical, right? And yeah, this is done under the Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana. Through this, different Jan Aushadhi Kendras that are being situated at different parts of India, through those Jan Aushadhi Kendras, these sanitary napkins would be made available to the women. Next news about Diu has become the first and the only union territory to become 100% solar energy efficient. So just remember this, Diu has become the first union territory, right? So no need to remember what this useless data, right? So just remember one thing, that's it, because that is what might be asked. Next news about first ever crime-free zone that has been launched in the international border, launched along the international border between India and Bangladesh, right? So remember that two countries have signed this, and it will be ensured that 8.3 kilometer stretch between both the countries will be demarcated as crime-free zone, and this stretch is one of the most valuable vulnerable, because through these 8.3 kilometer stretch there occurs a huge cattle smuggling as well as trafficking of women was also carried out. So these are kind of crime activities, right, for both the countries. So both the countries have taken place that by the help of civil administration, different NGOs and local population, whatever is being living in this 8.3 kilometer stretch. So all the organizations will come forward, and they will make sure that these kind of crime things are not happen between both the countries along these zones, right? Next news about International Solar Alliance, guys. Now, what is this International Solar Alliance? You know it very well, right? So I no need to explain, but the thing I want to explain, that earlier it was said that the countries between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn can make them enroll under this scheme, right? But now that scheme has been extended to the whole world, right? So all the worlds have been invited to take part in this scheme. The reason being, see, say for example, I'll give you see, world rotate at a tilting angle, we know it, right? Say for example, here is a sun. So in this case, 50% of earth is sorry, in this case 50% of earth is getting sunlight. Here also 50% of earth is getting sunlight. But in this sector, what will happen is that only northern hemisphere gets the more sunlight, right? And in this, when this will come here, then only the southern hemisphere will get more more sunlight, right? So that's, I mean, sorry, here is the sunlight, sorry, in between, oh my god, what I'm telling you. So in middle is the sunlight. So in this sector, half, 50%, right? Here 50%, but here southern hemisphere is getting more sunlight, but here northern hemisphere is getting more sunlight. So there comes a period when in northern hemisphere the amount of sunlight is huge, right? And there comes a period for southern hemisphere also, where in the southern hemisphere the amount of sunlight is huge, right? So that's why, to harness all the sunlights, the decision has been made that there is no restriction on the duration of sunlight or geographical location to become the member of this International Solar Alliance, right? So that is what you have to remember. Next is passive euthanasia has been legalized by the Supreme Court. Now, what is passive euthanasia, guys? I'll just give you an example. See, any man is going to die, you know that, right? If the doctor is injecting a medicine through which he will lose his life, then that is called passive euthanasia. But if the life support system is removed from the patient, and then he is allowed to die, then that is called active euthanasia, right? You just know both the thing, right? This is passive euthanasia, this is active euthanasia. Sorry, this is active euthanasia, this is passive euthanasia. So government has legalized this passive euthanasia as of now, and it is a landmark judgment in which government has allowed living will. Now, what is this living will? I have given you the thing of passive euthanasia, right? Now, the living will, under this living will, this man can, assign any person to take decision on behalf of him whenever he will be, in bed. When the patient will be in bed, he will not be in position to take decision regarding the euthanasia. But whosoever the person he will be assigning, so this person will take the decision regarding this person, whether he should die or not, right? So, that is what the living will is. So this is all about this passive euthanasia that has been considered a landmark judgment in our Indian history. Anyways, guys, regarding this news is that Hemis National Park. See, many national park series I have met. That is what the news I want to give you, that many national park series I have met. And regarding the link of that national park series, I'm giving you in the link description below. As you can see in this here, that this course has been done in 3 dimensions, right? See, the figures are totally 3D figures, right? I tried to ensure to make all these national park very interactive for you. So if you at all want to, learn it, because it is a very high yield series, trust me, because around more than, at least 2 to 3 questions they might ask, right? So indeed, if you'll go through it, then it will be beneficial for you itself, right? So just go through those. As of now, I've just covered Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttaranchal, right? Uttarakhand, and other states will also be covered, don't worry. But at least for the time being, whatsoever the states that has been covered, just go through those states first, right? So this was all about it, guys. And regarding the economic survey also, the link is given in the description below. Mains answer writing discussion also link is given in the description below. We will meet in tomorrow's class. Till then, bye bye, take care, and thank you for listening to this video, guys. Thank you very much.